Hey guys, Ben here from KCT, one of the gun and gear reviews you can use. And today we have something a little bit interesting for you today. We have a lot of stuff to get through, so we'll take it kind of quick here, but we're going to be talking about the MOE Stock and is it dying? So the MOE Stock was one of the first things I ever bought for any of my ARs. In fact, it was probably the first thing I bought because the car stock kind of sucks. And I love it. You know, I've had it on guns for years. Actually, this one is still on my AK. And it's been good to me. But there are a lot of replacements out there right now that I think really kind of set the bar pretty high as far as the quality that you're going to get, the features that you're going to get, and just sort of the engineering that's been sort of improved over the years since the stock came out. I mean, I think I got mine around 2010-ish, something like that. So, I mean, looking at about a decade, so pretty good for a legacy product to still be out like that and still be a choice of a lot of people, like I said, myself included. But some options that maybe for your money you would pick differently. So these are ones I've kind of accrued over the years, and the ones I sort of prefer to the MOE Stock. So before we get into it, we'll kind of talk about what is the MOE Stock. So if you don't know, which I don't know, you probably should. The MOE Stock is just one of those nice upgrades that you get a rubber butt pad. As you can see, it is contoured with a slight indent there, or concave, I guess. And then it has the nice shielded release lever, so you're not accidentally hitting it like you do on like a car stock and things like that. And it's much sturdier. I mean, there's literally no way I feel that I can break this. Where with like an M4 car type stock, I mean, if you mortared your gun hard enough, you'd probably crack it or destroy it. So this has been really, really good. Now, the downfall comes in the fact that there has been a lot of upgrades as far as how you use your gun over the past few years. And in the case of the MOE Stock, it's missing a few things. So number one, we'd be looking for a QD swivel. And you can add that later with the Magpul QD swivel kit, but that's also more expense. So you are going to be paying more to do with this what you could probably get with another stock right out of the box. The other thing is the toe of this stock is not rolled. We see a lot of stocks that we look at today here, and they all have one thing in common, which is the rolled toe, which makes presenting the weapon with that stock much easier than having sort of a flat or sunken in surface there. So beyond that, there's no storage on this, obviously. Magpul does make ones that you can store things in. And it's obviously not meant to be that kind of a storage stock. They still do the replacements there, that you can go ahead and replace the rubber butt pad with a thicker one if you're choosing. But I definitely do like it because the rubber butt pad, especially if you're going to lead your rifle up against something, if you have a car stock with nothing on the back end of it, it'll tend to slide down and clatter to the ground, and that's never a good sound or feeling. But with a rubber butt pad, it'll generally stay where it's supposed to be. So, moving on, we have one of the first stocks I got after the MOE, and this is an old Mission First Tactical. It's a battle uplink stock, I think, something like that. And so this is their mil-spec version. And when I saw this, I just love the design of it. I thought the design looked amazing. I thought it looked smart. I thought it looked futuristic. It's different than something that everybody else had. And I immediately set out and got one. Now, a lot of people said, oh gosh, that's not a Magpul, it's not a this or that, who is it, And this is when MFT was really kind of unknown. They were a lot smaller than they are today. And you didn't have examples of their products all over the place. And we'll get to that in just a minute with the minimalist stock. But one of the things I liked about this is you did have a sealed storage compartment. I have almost nothing in there right now, except for some Kleenex or whatever to stop the batteries and stuff from rattling. But it was a very unconventional design. As you can see, the storage area actually sits below the stock, where the buffer tube would be, to kind of keep that out of the way. So it doesn't go off to the sides like the old, like the SOP-mod stocks, or some of the ACS, I think it is, the Magpul, the cheeks on the side to store batteries. And because it's a square compartment, not a round one, it is not made just for batteries. You can put anything else in there. You can put in small supplies and things like that. So it's just nice to have, especially if you have sort of a utility type gun where you would want to keep anything from batteries for your optics, batteries for your torch, whatever it is, for running lights, lasers, all that good stuff, having some way to store those on the gun. And maybe even some small first aid supplies or just Skittles. You never know. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do. So this also has a nice rubber butt pad, and it is contoured and it is rolled. The toe of that is rolled, so again, makes it much easier when presenting that rifle to just sort of roll it right up on your shoulders. And it feels pretty good. Now, you'll see on the Magpul, there's a lot of the Footman's sling loops. There's two right here. And on this one, there's only one. Now, it's centrally located, which is kind of nice if you were going to use that sort of thing. But the real selling point, I think, for me was that you have 4 QD mounting surfaces. And so that is just simply one here, and then flip the stock over, and then it's mirrored on the other side. So right-handed, left-handed, however you want to run your stock. Lately, I've been sort of actually running it on the far side so that the sling kind of comes over and stays clear of my shoulder. So we'll see. But yeah, I like the fact that you could have that right off the bat. You didn't have to pay anything more for it. And the fact that, weapons are heading that way. Weapons are heading towards the QD mount type things. They're heading towards the new ways of sort of using a sling besides just clamping it on. We've obviously evolved past the 3-point sling, all that good stuff. So I just thought that this was a really nice looking, and it feels great when you mount the stock. You got a nice little cheek weld here, as you can kind of see, and it thins out pretty well up front. And yeah, I just saw this and I knew I had to have it, and once I got it, I just absolutely loved it. It's nice because you have the release lever right down here. Now, this is not a shielded lever like the Magpul stock. And so you'll see that with a lot of these newer stocks coming out where they sacrifice that shielded lever for different ergonomics. You'll see that these stocks don't have that triangle profile that the Magpuls have for their stocks. So that's kind of why you don't have that the shielded lever in some cases, because the stock is just not set up to work like that. The other nice thing about this is if you want to take it on or off the gun, just by pulling this, so you're just pulling the release tab the other way, it'll come right off the gun. And that is really nice for stopping the stock and doing a review on it. Also, if you wanted to swap anything out or check anything in the buffer tube, it makes it nice. You don't have to use a tool to get back on and off. With the MOE, you have to use like a flathead screwdriver, I find. Same thing with some of these other ones. But it does work out pretty well and pretty handy. So all in all, I really do like this stock. If you are looking for a storage stock, definitely a good way to go. MFT's been making some great products for years. I've been a huge fan of them. They've been sending some stuff out to review. Again, these were purchased with my own money here, but it works and it's good. So if you're looking for something that's got a little bit more oomph to it, I recommend that. So this is your minimalist stock from MFT. This thing put MFT on the map as far as stocks are concerned. When they started developing this, I contacted David over at MFT, to see if they would be willing to send one out, and they were running out of them left and right when they started producing these. And you see these probably replacing the MOE stock more and more as time goes by, simply because they do offer those advanced ergonomics. You do have that rolled toe, making the presentation nice and easy for that rifle. And it does come with a QD sling mount right here. So sort of the ambidextrous, it doesn't really have any orientation. You can just throw right underneath there, and you don't have to pay anything extra for that. But you still do have your Footman's loops. And I know that they have one, they call it the NRAT strap, and it's just the braided paracord that goes from here to here to give you a shielded release lever. Now, this one, the release lever is actually kind of shielded in the fact that it is sort of embedded in the same frame as the body. It doesn't stick out. And I really like that because, this is great, having this type of release lever. And I do really like this for being able to take the stock on and off for quick adjustments. But for this guy, having that hidden and having that in line with the rest of the body, I think is great. Really keeps the stock looking nice and clean, stops things from snagging on stuff. This is very well designed again too. I've never snagged anything on it, but it is always nice to just see that everything is in line. And it's a great stock. You do have to use like a flathead screwdriver or whatever to take that off your buffer tube. But yeah, this has been a great piece of equipment, and it's amazing how much, if you pick up the MOE stock and then you pick up the MFT minimalist, it's not even the same in terms of weight. They've gone so far with such advanced polymers over the 10 years or so this has been out to create this stock that it's not even the same. So if you are looking to save weight on your stock and you don't really care necessarily, or you're not addicted to the Magpul stuff, which I drink the Kool-Aid too, this is a great stock because it's very, very nice and lightweight, and it does pretty much everything that you need it to. People say, "Oh God, what if I, get this back part stuck on?" No, I mean, if it has to be wearing a shirt with pockets, I don't know, whatever. But it is great. I do think that this is a wonderful addition. This is probably the stock that I was most excited to get after this one because I can see the future coming through in this, and it's been replacing that MOE more and more through the years as companies are deciding to get on that bandwagon and check that out. So I really think that this was one of those stocks that made MFT kind of famous. This came out and there wasn't really anything that was like it, I guess, at the time, and so people didn't really know what to think about it. And from a newer company, it's always kind of more of a gamble. But then people saw this and it just clicked and it made sense. So you can see how much smaller this one is than the original, and very, very, very much lighter. So that's that. Finally, we have another one here that's got a nice roll toe, and this is the Strike Industries. I think it's the Viper stock, and this is interesting. When this came out, I bought one, and it didn't come with a rubber butt pad, and the texture on the butt pad was just awful. I thought it slid all over my shirt. It was not sticking to my shoulder the way that I wanted it to. They did come out with that butt pad. I went and bought one of those too, and it attaches pretty ingeniously. You have one screw down here, and then this goes over the top and locks into a latch at the top. When I got the butt pad, I was like, this is never going to stay there. This is never going to stay in. And I've had this for years now, and it has never let me down. So this has always also been a great stock. Moving forward, we have a couple QDs, one here and one there. So you can go off the right or left side of your gun. You don't have to go buy anything extra for those QDs. Don't believe that they are rotation limited, but I also don't really care. I just don't. So then you also still have the footman's loop in a nice classic position down here. And if you look at it, this is probably the most MOE-like stock in terms of how that it is created, in terms of that you have much more of a triangular profile. However, with this one, the adjustment switch or lever is not it's not covered. So I've never had this adjust on me when I don't want it to. It's got a pretty strong spring in there, and it's always been rock solid. I've never had to worry about it. Now the tube or the stock does rattle around in the tube a little bit. Not as bad as like a typical car stock, but when they came out with this, the design was that this could be a mil spec or commercial stock in one. And it kind of does it. I mean, again, this rattles around, not to the point where I feel that I'm losing control of the gun or anything like that, but you can definitely tell that it could be tightened up. Like this is extremely tight on buffer tubes. This is just because I've had it for so long, and this is same thing. But you can definitely tell that they wanted to try to do two things at once, and got most of it right. I think it's right. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I really do like this. Again, it is nice and lightweight. It is not as lightweight as the MFT here, and it is a little bit longer, so you'll have a little bit extra length in your gun. Now, that being said, again, it does do everything that you need it to do. It locks into place very, very nicely. I would like to see a friction lock, much like the STR from Magpul. Even if it's something where it's just a little, like, kind of a slide up here to click in, because if you are going to make a stock that's supposed to fit two different diameter tubes, you're going to have some play on one of them or the other. So we'd definitely like to see that. But other than that, and other than having to purchase that butt pad, I've found this to be a really, really good stock as well. And I do like it more than the MOE. It is on one of my guns I go to more than the MOE. The MOE is actually sitting on my AK normally, so we'll get into that one at some point too. So that kind of covers the Strike Industries entry in there, and obviously the Mission First Tactical. So 3 different options that have sort of replaced the MOE from where it was, which is pretty much king of the hill. I mean, you saw these on every gun once they came out. You know, if you were selling a gun as a company and you didn't want to look like some plastic handguard, you know, M forgery looking, you know, when you wanted to show people that you cared, you put one of these on your gun and you put one of the MOE grips on your gun, and that right there would sell rifles. You know, the first things I would replace on a gun is the stock, and then I would say the pistol grip there. So I think that you know, this thing is, again, it's still a very, very good product. Absolutely, no slamming it there. But I think there's also been a lot of things out there that have improved over time. So if you're looking for a stock or anything like that, definitely take some time, look into it, check out your resources, do some videos, look up some stuff and watch those and read people's reviews, and just kind of know what you're looking for. If you want a sling mount right out of the bat, you probably don't want a MOE. If you want something that's, you know, rock solid, you're probably going to want something like this. If you want storage, something like this. You know, if you don't know if you have a commercial or a mil-spec buffer tube, maybe something like this. But yeah, that's the thoughts on the stocks there. So is the MOE stock dead? No, no. But I think it's time as sort of the premier, you know, I guess OEM type stock has kind of faded a little bit like that. But I'm sure we'll see these on guns for years to come. Anyways, I just want to take a quick minute and thank everybody actually over at Mission First Tactical. Now, we were going to get one of their new stocks in, the minimalist upgraded, and with the uncertain times that we live in, they have a lot of people that were not able to be working in the office and send it out. Once we get that, we'll definitely also put a review up on that there. And they were making great products again. I mean, they sent me a couple of them to check out, but most of them I just purchased with my own money just because I like them. I want to have them on my gun, and I believe in them. So just want to give those guys a quick shout out for doing what they do and keep doing what they do. Same thing for everybody. Strike Industries, Magpul, you know, you guys are doing it big. I mean, this is a lot of stuff that people really, really want on their guns, and you guys are supplying the demand. We're seeing less and less of the old A2 furniture there than we are here. So other than that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. I just want to say thanks for tuning in, and yeah, we'll catch you guys next time. Stay accurate.